You like jazz? Today we're talking buzzwords, or buzz labels. These pesky freaks are everywhere, all over your food, all over your clothing, all over your Amazon. I mean, what is all this? Now sure, some labels have a clear legal definition and they're well regulated, but we're not talking about those. We're talking about their Walmart version counterparts. Actually, these are not even the Walmart version. It's more like someone took everything good about these organizations and then threw it in a wood chipper and then turned in the opposite direction and just had some guy in Fiverr design a little graphic for them. Look, I'm all about the free market and making whatever claims you want to get more units out the door. But the other day I bought this yogurt that said it was sugar-free and no artificial sweetener, but it still had stevia. I hate the taste of stevia. Now I have 15 cups of yogurt digging a hole in my fridge. So this pissed me off and now I'm making this video. All right, so there are usually 4 types of misleading buzzwords. The first one is green, natural, sustainable. You don't need a legal definition when the consumer can just make up their own. The company just adds the word green, but in your head you see solar panels and wind farms and that really big turtle Pokemon. You're making your own conclusion on the product. You're selling to yourself, and you're pretty good at it too. Grant Cardone would not stand a chance. I love taking nature walks and eating natural foods, like Kevin's natural orange chicken, Ben & Jerry's natural ice cream, and of course, natural Cheetos. Because there just might be something natural in there if you're lucky. This word looks healthy, it sounds healthy, but it doesn't mean anything. I mean, even the FDA is like, we're not even gonna try with this one. One of my favorite ones is when a company can't decide between an eco-friendly label and an ethically sourced label. So they just put sustainable, which is just a word. It's kind of like if you never went to college and you tell everyone you have a bachelor's in communications. I mean, no one's gonna question you because they don't even know where to start. Handmade, dermatologist tested, chemical free. Remember in high school English class when you had to write a paper on the book How to Kill a Mockingbird and there was some minimum word count requirement, so you just started throwing random words in to make your sentences longer? Well, that's kind of like these words. They don't really mean anything, but they make the product seem way better. Words like handcrafted and handmade have become pretty popular recently, especially on sites like Etsy. People literally want their products to have blood, sweat, and tears in that order. This handmade comb costs $10. How is that even possible? To carve and finish a comb out of a block of wood would take hours of labor. And then there's also material costs and equipment costs. How in the world could they actually be making a profit? Well, there's really only 2 ways. They are either heavily underpaying labor or mass producing the comb and just having a person give it a tiny little polish at the end of the manufacturing process. Or, of course, they could just be straight up lying. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not dropping $10 on a comb. What, are you insane? Dermatologist tested. Well, what'd they say? Dermatologist tested doesn't mean they approved it. It just means they looked at it, or smelled it, or played with it a little bit. It doesn't tell us anything. Chemical free doesn't even make any sense. What chemicals are you talking about? Everything has chemicals. Water is a chemical. What are we doing here, guys? Energizing, detoxifying, anti-aging. I get very sleepy very fast, so I have to keep myself energized throughout the entire day. In the office, I'm always the fastest thinker because I use energizing shampoo. My hands are always shaking from too much power because they're always dripping with energizing lotion. I can eat a Subway footlong in less than 7 seconds because I brush my teeth with toothpaste that is energizing mint. In the evening, I don't relax with a candle. I get energized with that shit. You may be like, Alex, that doesn't make sense. None of those things put caffeine or stimulants in your body. And to that I say, why don't you read the package? Do you hate toxins as much as I do? Do you want to get rid of them? What are you gonna do when they're all gone? Do you even have a 5-year plan? Have you even mapped out your KPIs? None of these things actually detoxify your body. They just smell nice or make you poop. Everyone wants to look like Paul Rudd, but no one wants to put in the effort of saving the multiverse or whatever. Aging is absolutely terrifying. You get all this extra skin that you don't even know what to do with. So we turn to anti-aging products. Now sure, no one has ever successfully reversed aging, But what if this Neutrogena lotion can do it? If you actually want to slow aging, just use sunscreen and have a healthy lifestyle. Also, how are before and after pictures even legal? I don't know how many NVIDIA GPUs those guys have running at the same time, but they are absolutely maximizing their Photoshop output. Sugar-free, organic, carbon neutral. Remember when you were a kid and your friend was like, hey, come over, I just got the new Guitar Hero, and you got all excited, but then when you showed up, it turns out that your friend got the Nintendo DS version of the game, and you're like, I didn't even know they made that, and your friend was like, yeah, it's actually a pretty good game, we could take turns, and you're like, I think I'm just gonna go home. Well, your friend technically was not lying, you just had some high expectations. If I was to give another example, remember that time on Shark Tank when the guy was like, my wife's father-in-law, and then Kevin O'Leary was like, wait, your wife's father-in-law, isn't that just your dad? And the guy was like, yeah, kind of like that. These words are kind of like that. No added sugar, still has sweeteners. No artificial sweeteners, still has natural sweeteners. I just want my yogurt to taste like berries and not vitamin water. Is that too much to ask for, Dannon? In fact, I want to speak to Mr. Dannon. Put him on the line. I'll admit it, I buy organic stuff sometimes. I'll buy a few green bananas every now and then throw them out because they're way too crunchy for me. Most people don't even know what organic means. It's not that there's no chemicals or pesticides used, it's that only approved chemicals and pesticides are used. And sure, most of them are natural, but there's still a few synthetic ones in there as well. Also, since the approved ones are less potent, farmers sometimes have to use way more of them to get the same effect. You may have seen some products advertised as carbon neutral, like the misleading article about the 825,000 carbon neutral Xboxes that were made. Carbon neutral sounds cool. It sounds like there's a green leaf involved in there somewhere. It sounds like there's zero carbon emissions. But how can a product have no carbon emissions if carbon is required for sourcing material, manufacturing, packaging, shipping, and disposal? Well, they can just buy carbon credits. And no, carbon credits are not the most recent crypto scam that CoffeeZilla is talking about. It's just companies paying billions of dollars to other companies that claim to reduce greenhouse gases by building solar panels, capturing methane, and preventing deforestation. Companies aren't always reducing their emissions. They're just paying a parking ticket. And listen, I'm not saying all of these are bad. Sugar-free labels prevent you from standing there looking like a privileged, pretentious clown while you're reading the nutrition label in the milk aisle. Organic farming comes with a huge improvement in working conditions. And it's awesome that if a company's being a negligent imbecile and emitting carbon like it's the 4th of July, they're forced to pay someone to plant some solar panels or build some trees. What if we're not buying products, but we're buying identity? I don't know if that's true. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to say here. Honestly, the taste of stevia has kind of grown on me. I kind of like it now. Also, we got way too many labels. I mean, what is all this? If you like what you saw, like and subscribe. Thank you.
The rat goes like this, like this, like this. You are now a normal rat.